Hello again. Today we are going to be learning two different sounds that this grapheme makes, and I'm going to give you a little trick for helping you to work out what sound it's making when you're reading words. So you probably already know that that letter makes the G sound, but sometimes it makes a J sound, and I'm going to show you when it does that. So if we look at these words here, I'm going to sing you a little song. It's to the tune of London Bridge is Falling Down. So you might be able to join in after I've been singing for a little while because you might spot the pattern. So this is how the song goes. G says J before E-I-Y, E-I-Y, E-I-Y. G says J before E-I-Y. G says J. So let's have a look at some words where it's doing that. So in this word here, we've got the letter G before an E. So it's making J, J, E, L, gel, like the gel you put in your hair. This one, we've got the G before an I. So it's going to make J. So we have J, I, N, gin, which is a drink that some grown-ups drink. Here we've got the G before the letter Y, so it's going to make J again. When we use Y in the middle of a word, it often makes an I sound, so we have J, I, M, gym. So I'm going to sing the song again, see if you can join in with me this time. G says J before E-I-Y, E-I-Y, E-I-Y. G says J before E-I-Y, G says J. So we're going to play a game now called Climb the Ladder, and we're going to be reading some words with the letter G. Now, we've got a picture of a tree here with two ladders that are going to help us to climb from the ground to the bottom of the tree. If we're looking at a word where the letter G is making a G sound, we're going to put that word on this ladder. If we are looking at a word where the letter G is making a J sound, like we just learnt, then we're going to put that word on this ladder. And as we sort the words onto the ladders, we're going to find which ladder will get us to the top of the tree first. So to make the game a little bit more fun, I'm going to get you to choose a ladder. You're going to choose the ladder that you think is going to get you to the top of the tree first. So if you would like to choose the G ladder, can you give me a cheer now? If you would like to choose the J ladder, can you give me a cheer now? So I hope everyone's chosen a ladder. Let's just double check. If you've chosen the G ladder, can you give me a cheer? And if you've chosen the J ladder, can you give me a cheer? Okay, we're going to find out which is going to be the winning ladder in a moment. So let's look at the first word that's going to go onto a ladder. Let's sing the first part of our little song so that we can work out what sound this letter is going to make. G says J before E-I-Y. Well, we haven't got E, I or Y, so it won't make J, it will just be G. So you have a go at sounding this word out, because it's quite a long one. I think we need to split it up, so you have a try. So decide what sound that letter was making in this word, and then if you think it goes on this ladder, can you point to that now? Or if you think it's making a J sound and needs to go on this ladder, can you point to that one? So if you all pointed to a ladder, let's sound it out together and we'll see if you got the right ladder. Off we go. G, R, A, N, gran, D, ad, dad, granddad. That's making a G sound, so it's going to come on this ladder here. So if you chose that ladder, give yourself a cheer. We'll put that one on there. Let's look at the next word. So we'll sing the little song. G says J before E-I-Y. Now you're going to have a go at sounding it out. Right, can you point to the ladder that you think that word needs to go on? If you think it's making a g sound, point to this ladder. If you think it's making a j sound, point to this ladder. Now let's see if you're right. G says j before E, I, Y. Well, we haven't got E, I or Y, so it's not making j, it's making g. What sound does this usually make at the end of a word? O. Let's sound it out then. G, r, o, grow. It's making a g sound, so that's going to go on the g ladder. So if you chose the g ladder at the moment, give me a cheer. Your ladder's doing really well. Let's look at the next word. Let's sing the little song. G says j before E, I, Y. So have a go at sounding this word out. Point to this ladder if you think it's making g. Point to this ladder if you think it's making j. Let's see if you were right. Sing the song. G says j before E. Oh, there's an E. It's going to make j. Let's sound it out. A, j, age. It's making a j sound, so it needs to go on this ladder. So if that's your ladder, give me a cheer. Here's your next word. Let's sing the song. G says j before E, I, Y. So think which sound you're going to use. What sound does this one make at the ends of long words? E. So you have a go at sounding this one out then. If you think that is making a g sound, point to the g ladder. If you think it's making a j sound, point to the j ladder. Let's see if you're right. Let's sing the song. G says j before E. Oh, so it's going to make a j. Let's sound it out together. J, e, n, t, gent, l, e, li, gently. It's making a j sound in that word, so we put it on the j ladder. Give me a cheer if that's your ladder. Oh, both ladders are exactly the same at the moment. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, let's sing the song. G says j before E, I, Y. So work out what sound you think. What sound do these two letters make? You have a go at sounding this word out then. You might need to try that one again. Right, ready to point to the ladder. If you think that's making g, point to this ladder. If you think it's making j, point to this ladder. Let's see if you were right. Let's sound it out. Off we go. D, e, d, g, r, a, f. Graph. Digraph. That doesn't quite make sense. What other sound can this letter make? That can make an I. So let's try it with I. D, I, die, g, r, a, f, graph. Digraph. Some people say digraph and some people say digraph. A digraph is two letters that make one sound. This is a digraph here. So let's have a look. This letter in digraph was making a g sound, so we need to put it on the g ladder. So if that's your ladder, give me a cheer, because that one's in the lead now. Let's look at the next word. This is a nice easy one. Let's sing the little song. G says j before E, I, Y. Have a go at sounding it. If you think that's making a g sound, point to the g ladder. If you think it's making a j sound, point to the j ladder. Let's see if you're right. Off we go. G says j before E, I, Y. Well, we haven't got E, I, Y, so it can't make j. That's going to make g. Frog, frog. And it goes on the g ladder. If that's your ladder, give me a cheer, because you're in the lead. Let's look at the next one. Let's sing our little song. G says J before E, I, Y. Let's sound it out. Right. Point to this ladder if you think it's making G. Point to this ladder if you think it's making J. Let's see if you're right. G says J before E, I, Y. Oh, no E, I or Y. Can't make J. Must be making G. Greed, greed, E, greedy. So it's going on the G ladder. So give me a cheer if you chose the G ladder. You're nearly there. You just need one more word to finish yours. Let's look at the next. Let's sing the song. G says J before E, I, Y. So sound this one out. If you think that's making a G sound, point to the G ladder. If you think it's making a J sound, point to the J ladder. Let's see if you're right. Let's sing the song. G says J before E. So, P, A, J. Page. It's making a J sound. Let's put it on the J ladder. Give me a cheer if that's your ladder. You're catching up. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, let's sing our little song. G says J before E, I, Y. You sound it out. Point to this ladder if you think it's making G. Point to this ladder if you think it's making J. Let's see if you're right. G says J before E, I, Y. Well, we haven't got E, I or Y, so that must be making G. Let's sound it out. T-w-ig, twig. So that's making a G sound. That's going on the G ladder, and that seems to be our winning ladder. So give yourself a cheer if that was the ladder that you chose right at the very beginning. Well done. So you try and remember that little rule and that little song, and when you next see a word that you're trying to read and it has a letter G in, that little song should help you to work out what sound you need to use for that letter.